Right, I've put it off long enough. Let's talk about QPR today. QPR nil, Sheffield United 2. Um, Hot on the heels of a 5-0 drubbing on Tuesday night from Southampton, back at Loftus Road, and you're hoping for a response. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm a realist. And I'm going to get onto the manager later. I'm going to talk about the team, then I'm going to talk about the performance, then I'm going to talk about my thoughts on the manager. We can't, before we talk about the game, we've got to talk about injuries. And we have got a lot of injuries at the moment. I've never really known a season like it. I've heard a lot of people talking about the pitch. The pitch is terrible this season. I don't know what's going on. It kind of reminds me a little bit of, there was a season, I remember when this is really going back, Trevor Francis was playing for us, but the whole of the Ellerslie Road stand, what is the Stanley Bowl stand now, had like a ploughed field look to it. I don't know, I mean, I'm sure older QPR fans will remember that, whatever season that was. But I distinctly remember Trevor Francis playing it because I remember him swinging in a cross from the left and we scored from it. I remember that on like Goals on Sunday or whatever it was back then. In fact, no, I think it was the big. Oh no, was it London? They used to show the goals from the London teams on ITV on a Sunday. I think it was on that program. Anyway, so I don't know if the pitch has had something to do with it, but some of our injuries have occurred away from home as well. But we have got a massive injury list, and you can't say we haven't. That is definitely causing some problems. But what you would hope is from the team that go out is a reaction, and the team that started today was very similar to the team that started at Southampton. So when you've just been drubbed 5-0, you've got to look for something. You've got to look for a reaction, and I didn't see any of that today, really. I don't know if Norrington Davis was injured, but Escudinha played for him left back. Well, let's just run through this. So obviously Joe Walsh was in goal. That seems to be Stephan's pick for goalkeeper. I didn't really see what Hamer had done wrong, really. I probably would have kept him in, but I also understand that Joe Walsh is obviously a younger goalkeeper. He's the future, so if that's his number one, you've got to stick by him. Clearly, he doesn't fancy Nardi as a goalkeeper at all, which I haven't got a massive problem with. And Joe Walsh has been good. He's clearly a good shot stopper. I think he's a bit flappy sometimes at crosses. Well, not flappy, that's unfair, but he seems to struggle sometimes with crosses. But a really solid goalkeeper, great shot stopper, and he's made some great saves for us. So I haven't really got a problem with him. If Norrington Davis is fit, he should start every game for me. Centre backs today were Ronnie Edwards and Jimmy Dunn, and then right back was. And Mbenge wasn't playing, was he? No. So what am I talking about? No, it wasn't. Sorry, it's Clark Salter and Jimmy Dunn. Then Ronnie Edwards was right back. Now Clark Salter's an interesting one. Clearly, he can't play more than 70 minutes because he comes off on 70 minutes every single time he starts a game. He has done it all season. He's obviously, there's something about him. Obviously, they think he's our best centre back. I'm yet to see that. I don't get it. Now, Steve Cook is a veteran. He's got massive Premier League experience. He's a leader. I'm not. I've had my criticism of Steve Cook this year, but since he came out of the team, we have conceded a hell of a lot of goals. And when he was in the team, we kept a lot of clean sheets. That cannot be a coincidence. So I think he needs to come back into the team and play alongside Jimmy Dunn. And, Ronnie Edwards is just going to have to try and break his way in, because I also don't see how you can't play Mbenge at right back. Yes, he's a bit of a loose cannon, but he drives forward. And Ronnie Edwards isn't a right back, is he? He's a centre back. So you're basically just fitting him in because you want to play him. But you've got Mbenge on the bench, and he's just got to play. He's got to play. You can't deny his passion. You can't deny his engine. He's up and down the wing. He gets crosses in. Sometimes they're awful, but if you don't try, you ain't going to score goals. So that's my opinion on the defence today. I don't understand why Paul Smith didn't start. I know he has been injured, so maybe that's the reason, but I don't think Koki Sato's been on form the last 3 games. So if Smith was fit, and if you're on the bench, for me, you're fit enough to play. So he should have started today. But him and Vale and Sato, they're the only fit wingers we've got. They're all the rest of them are injured. So you haven't got many choices. So Vale obviously had to start. He's an interesting player, Harvey Vale. I'm not sure he's a winger. I'm not really sure what he is. I don't know if he's like a number 10. He's got a lovely left foot on him, bit of a wand of a left foot on occasions. But I just don't really know what we're doing at the moment. Anyway, keep digressing. Centre midfield today we had Varane and who was the other centre midfielder? Kieran Morgan. So it was really good to see Kieran Morgan get a start. But he seems to have he doesn't look as comfortable on the ball anymore. I don't know. Kieran Morgan is clearly an absolute baller, right? And I'm a massive fan of his. And I don't know whether it's just a confidence thing, but he just didn't seem the same kind of player. I don't know whether they need Madsen next to him to make them better players, because that Madsen's role, dropping deep and taking the ball off the centre backs, we had no one doing that today, and it was so evident, such a clear issue that we had, that no one was doing that role that Madsen's been doing so well all season. And then up front, obviously, we had Kone and we had Daniel Benny. Benny deserved his start after that great goal at Hull, but was essentially ineffective. We are missing Burrell so much. Burrell's pace, energy, closing down. He makes Kone a better player. He needs to come back ASAP. It's crazy how much we've missed him. The team's completely different with him not playing. So that was obviously the starting lineup today. Got to say a massive well done to Sheffield United. I thought they were excellent, really. Didn't really put a foot wrong. Their first goal was their first real attack. Lovely bit of play down the right-hand side. Chung, whatever his name is, back post, and then they whipped it in. They hadn't really threatened that much before that, but it's just a classic, quick counter-attack, away day goal. And, they were kind of worth their lead, really. We weren't showing much at that point. The second goal was just, Jonathan Rand, I don't know what he's doing. He just passes the ball in the middle of the field straight to a Sheffield United player, gives it to Tyrese Campbell, hits a lovely, lovely shot with his left foot. He looks in all the way, and it was straight at the back of the net, 2-0 down. And at that point, what was that, after about 37 minutes, or it might have been 27 minutes, you're already thinking best case scenario, today's a draw, which is just awful. And, 2 weeks ago, you're looking at the playoffs thinking, I'm only 4 points off the playoffs. All of a sudden, within a week and a bit, or 2 weeks, you're suddenly looking over your shoulder thinking, have we got enough points to stay up? That's how crazy the championship is, I suppose, that anyone can beat anyone. But we have got a really tough run of games coming up. That can't be denied. And it is a bit concerning that we just seem to be on this slope now. And it just felt like a performance of what have we got left? Anyway, then on 78 minutes, Harvey Vale whips in a corner. Literally was going nowhere. It was just a bullet straight onto Kone's head, into the back of the net. They get the ball out, run back to the halfway line. We're back in it. 12 minutes to go. It's going to be an absolute siege on the Sheffield United goal, and it gets ruled out for offside. I don't know how you're offside from a corner. He must have been standing on the goal line, I suppose. So that was obviously quite annoying, because that could have out of nowhere, really, and it would have been unjust if we'd have got a draw out of that game. I personally, I think Sheffield United deserved the win. They looked like they wanted it more. It looked like they were quicker to every ball. We just give the ball away too much, And I'm very quick to dig out Kone, saying he's not strong enough. He is strong. Obviously, he's strong, but that outlet without Burrell playing is just non-existent. There's no one to flick it onto. Not that he wins many flick-ons, really, but there's just no kind of willing runner in the channels. There's no, they can't bend a ball in behind the defender because we've got no one making those runs. We're playing with two wingers, and every time they cut back inside. There was a time today in the first half where Sato had a clear chance to cross the ball in really quick before their defenders had a chance to get themselves set. and he just cuts back inside again rather than make the cross. Then he puts the cross in, and it just gets blocked. And I just find that it's really basic. That. I talk to Charlie about it all the time. It does his head in, but that quick ball into the box is how you score goals, and no one will ever change my mind on that. If you get the chance to whip one in, you've got to do it, because that's how you take teams by surprise, because they're all so good defensively now that if you give them a chance to get themselves set, by the time you've cut back inside and given that extra 1, 2, 3 seconds, they're back in place, they're positioned correctly, and more often than not, they're just going to head it out, or they'll have your centre forward marked up tightly, and they'll get in a position where they're going to clear the ball, and it's not going to result in a kind of a goal scoring opportunity. And I see it week in, week out with QPR that they just don't. For me, they just don't get their crosses in quick enough. So yeah, there you go. It was a frustrating day at Loftus Road today. It was a tough watch, to be honest. I did have the crazy benefit of being able to watch it in a box, which was amazing. That was a really nice experience, and it was. But the football was not great, which kind of brings me on to Julian Stephan, because there's been loads of stuff today. I've just seen a load of posts on Instagram. A lot of people very cross, want him out. I'm not sure I 100% agree with that for various reasons. One, I've no idea who you would get in if you were to get rid of him. And there's a lot of people that are saying get Cifuentes back. I don't think that works. He left us. I wouldn't want to see him back personally. But I mean, I think the reason he left was because he didn't think we were going to get any players, and all of a sudden, stick him on gardening leave. He goes to Leicester, and we start opening up the purse strings, and we get a load of players in. So he's probably quite frustrated. I feel a bit kind of sorry for Cifuentes in a way, but I don't think it works him coming back, because firstly, he should never go back, and secondly, he left. So you kind of, I think for me, that's kind of like gone. He personally no longer welcome. I sat by the dugout for the Blackburn game, which was really interesting. So I got to see Stefan's body language and see kind of what he was doing. And there's not a lot, personally. You know, we were 3-1 down in that game, 3-1 down. And I didn't see a lot of anger or passion or talking to the players, which I think is quite telling, because you're at home. But I mean, but then I don't know what this is the thing. I don't know what modern management is. I don't know whether they talk to their players a lot. Some managers you see, they're always in their technical area, aren't they? And they're constantly chatting, constantly shouting at players. Do players really want that whilst they're playing a game? Probably not. They just want to crack on, don't they? They've done all the work during the week, so they're probably thinking, why are you shouting at me now? But obviously, managers can see stuff during the game, you would hope. I think sometimes he's quite slow to change things. He's very regimented on his 65 to 70 minute substitutions, but a lot of managers do that. But I just, like I say, I would certainly give him the season, and then assuming, well, surely we're going to stay up. Got to stay up, right? Assuming we stay up, then I think you've got to kind of give him a bit more time, see what we do next season, and give him the benefit of having a full fit squad and see what we can do. If anyone's got to go, I think it might be the groundsman, or maybe not go, but give him some help. Something's not right with that pitch, and I'm not sure what it is. I know we've had a lot of rain, so I'm assuming it's the rain dripping off the Stanley Bowl stand, which is why that left-hand side is so bad. But something needs to change, because the pitch is shocking. So yeah, there you go. That's my experience today of the QPR game. Let me know in the comments what you think, what you thought of today's performance if you were there. And we go again. What is it? Middlesbrough on Saturday. It's not going to be much easier, is it? But that's QPR. If you support QPR, you know it's never going to be an easy ride, is it? Thanks very much for watching. please get in the comments. Let me know what you thought of the game today. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I'd love to have you along on the journey, and I'll see you all tomorrow.